What are you talking about? What are you talking? I think it started. Has it started? What am I talking about? It's bloody ridiculous. I think it started, by the way.
Have you started?
Hello everybody,
Hello.
Welcome back to our latest vlog. Today's topic is fear of failure.
Which I'm really surprised you put on the list.
Why is that?
Because I assume you put it on the list because you think you've been frightened of failure. And I'm not sure compared to most people you are. There you go, you can say it.
There's different things that drive people on. There's different things that motivate people. Mine isn't, I'm not scared of failure. I don't think I am. But failure as a very loose kind of concept. Failure means different things to different people. To me, failure at this point is, I've been in business, my phase 3, I run business for 13 years. If, God forbid, tomorrow it all fell apart, I'd be mortified. I'd be absolutely gutted because it's something that I've invested time in, effort, money, research, all this kind of stuff. And that would have failed because the business is no longer there. I've had failed businesses, failed for whatever reasons, and I think each time it teaches you something. And fear of failure, I think entrepreneurs, business owners are wired a slight different way to others. I don't actually like it. I don't like the term entrepreneur. By the way, I want to get that on camera. It's everywhere at the moment. I'm an
You
entrepreneur.
put it on
I'm a
camera.
this. I'm a that. You put it on camera.
No, you just put it on camera. You
One
said
of our
entrepreneur first.
No, I didn't say I'm an entrepreneur. I said entrepreneurs are wired differently.
Good. I thought you were going to say.
Keep up. What is an entrepreneur? Someone's got his own business. Someone's got lots of different businesses. What's an entrepreneur?
It's the apprentice.
It's a different topic. Different topic. But
Apparently they can't buy bricks.
they can't.
Apparently they can't find bricks.
Bricks. The the shortage of bricks. Apparently, I read that somewhere as well. I've totally lost my childhood.
You were saying entrepreneurs are wired differently, and
Yeah.
you're not an entrepreneur.
I didn't say I was an entrepreneur.
You
I said I don't like the term entrepreneur.
Yeah, and then I said you mentioned it, and I presumed you were going to say one. You said I'm not an entrepreneur.
Okay. Fear of failure.
You did, Chris.
And the point I'm trying to make is that people start a business for different reasons. You know, financial independence is an obvious one. You know, maybe a work-life balance. You know, getting away from the Monday 9 to 5. And I think failure, whatever that concept, whatever the word failure means to you, is a big driver. And it's a big driver to me because I don't want to fail in anything I do in life. Now, at this point in my life, I understand that I will probably fail at things, small things, big things, whatever it is. But in business, I think the fear of failure can be almost, it can become a positive. You can spin.
Well, that's what you were going to say, that you had to sort of learn
because
from it.
it can be a motivator, it can be a guiding light, it can be a driver for you to put in the effort, the graft, the hours, and the hard work to ensure that you don't ever be in that position where you have to deal with failure.
So what did you learn? There's a question for you. What did you learn from a business closing?
What did I learn from business closing? Okay. I learned that the setup of that business was wrong. If I'm being totally blunt, I was thinking with pound signs. We only had one source of income, and when that source of income stopped, you have no business. We had very high costs in that, so I've learned how to manage that. And this goes back to one of our previous books. I've never been in a position, because of the way phase 3 consulting has been set up, I've never been in a position where we've been kind of worried, where's the money come from at the end of the month? Where's the money come from at the end of the month? And that is something I learned that cash flow, I read everywhere, cash flow is king, cash flow is so important, so on and so forth. And I absolutely agree, of course it is. You can't do anything without it in terms of business. But I'd never seen that. I'd never been in that position. So I'd never had the kind of real life experience of that. And now that I have, I think the structure of your business is absolutely key. Don't rely on one source of income only. I mean, you're starting a business, you might have to
you can see over the months and the years that have gone by with phase 3, the time frame over which you have to worry about that increasing. You're living less hand to mouth through the business, and that changes. So cash flow becomes, at this point, much less. It's still going to be a measure of efficiency. It's still going to improve your business efficiency right now as you've grown. But I think you've moved beyond the point where, in terms of watching whether it's about to fail, cash flow is the sole measure of that.
Yeah. No. What do you think? What's your? Are you?
Well, it depends, because
do you have a fear
don't.
Of failure?
I have a massive fear of failure.
Do you? Really?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Never knew that about you.
Well, it's closely linked, isn't it, to the imposter syndrome, which apparently 90% of something women feel. Women in particular.
The imposter
yeah, absolutely.
syndrome, what's that? I've not heard of that.
That's where, in theory, I'm the MD of a company and I don't feel like that. You wake up some mornings and you feel like a complete imposter in your role. You feel that's what that is.
Why do you feel that?
I don't necessarily think it's rational, but I think you just do.
Interesting. I don't know that. The imposter syndrome.
The imposter syndrome. But what I was going to say about failure is that I don't necessarily measure my own and our own failure just by the business closing, and certainly not by cash coming in. I am desperately worried day to day about making the right long-term choices when it comes to employing people is the most obvious thing.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, people and the relationships that I have with those people are what are most with me through the days, rather than any pound signs, for sure.
I would agree with that. I think that like I said, when I mentioned the pound signs, that was to do with the business that failed. With phase 3, failure, closing of the company, the people, the friendships, the team we have here, that would be the hardest thing. So, failure. What does it mean to you? Does it motivate you? Does it kind of, is it your driver? Does it stir you on? How do you control it? How do you manage that?
I think you control it by understanding what it means to you. So I think with that awareness, you have a freedom not to be worried about the other bits. It's part of getting a focus for yourself in business. Hopefully, I believe I've got a reasonably good understanding for myself about how I measure my own failure at this point in my life.
Yeah.
And that gives me, for example, a freedom, relatively speaking, in terms of our strategies at where I think I take quite a lot of risks. And I think if I was too worried about all types of failure, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. There are people like that, aren't there? There are people who just focus on the negative, glass is always half empty.
They don't set up businesses.
No, they don't set up businesses, but maybe some of them do.
Maybe
some of them do, but then they're so worried about the negativity of what could go wrong rather than what could go right, that they're just kind of stagnate, they don't move forward. So let us know what you think. We'll be back next week, and we'll be having another topic. Do comment, do subscribe, we'll be close to the camera. See you next week. Thank you.
Bye.